and what they're doing to kind of
Oh my goodness,
you
this is such a huge adjustment. I mean, not just the 24 shows that we usually do at the old church. I mean, this is our
yeah,
30th year. And
God,
so we go gigging starting around November 15th every
mm,
night. I'm
jeez,
doing some kind of a, holiday theme somewhere.
uh-huh,
And to not have any venue available,
yeah,
to do any of that is definitely, you know, uh, has had us all of us, to pivot to figure out, okay, what am I going to do to share my music? What am I going to do to make a living?
hmm
Because if without a venue to play, that there's all of a sudden you're unemployed. And
right,
when you're a musician, you're unemployed anyways until your next gig.
right, exactly,
You're pretty much a private contractor, so when there's no gigs, you are really unemployed.
right,
So that's been a challenge. So where do you turn to? Well, you have to. What's the platform? The platform's online.
right,
The platform is YouTube. The platform is Facebook. The platform is Instagram. The platform, uh, and then for this holiday season, the platform for me, thank goodness, is that KGW Channel 8 donated an hour to me.
wow,
We'll put your show on. We're going to give you the hour. You just have to, produce the show. And so that costs money. So I did a GoFundMe campaign, and I got some sponsors to help. And so we were able to raise the money to produce the show.
well, let's back up a little bit, just to when the pandemic started, though. So
Sure.
you've obviously made this work for yourself now, 9 months down the line, but
Right.
when it first became clear that, like, the normal life, and particularly for a gigging musician, was going to stop, what was going through your head? What did you think was going to happen to you when it all first went down in March?
I have to say a bit of panic because, I haven't been in this position for quite a while
Hmm.
of worrying about the next gig.
Hmm.
Um, it uh, and all the things that I eventually started doing, everything was new territory.
Hmm.
I had some things on YouTube, but I hadn't put enough on there or paid enough attention to get enough views and enough followers to where it starts to monetize and you can make a
Right.
living on it. It took me 3 months to get enough subscribers and enough people watching, to start seeing the monetization happen. But and that let me tell you, that was a lot of hours. And so figuring out YouTube, and then also figuring out how to create my own videos. So I had to learn how to use iMovie,
Hmm.
which was very intuitive. And now I'm using like the next thing up, which is, what the heck is it called? It's
Like Final
Pro.
Cut Pro or whatever.
Final Cut Pro. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. And so I started with iMovie, and I started learning how to make my own films. I was using my iPhone, and I got a couple GoPro cameras, and I ordered some. There's so much cool stuff on Amazon. I got some cool lighting that was really inexpensive.
Yeah.
It was like for a really cool light about this big, on a nice stand, it was like 29.95. I had no idea that you could put together something, somewhat professional in your own studio.
Mm.
And of course, I have my own recording studio at my house, so I have all this audiophile gear. So I was ahead of the curve in that department.
So, for this year, we were talking about kind of at the start of quarantine when you kind of had to figure things out. So I'm assuming throughout all these months, it was probably in the back of your head, like, what are we going to do if this is still going on in Christmas and my run of Christmas shows can't happen? Was that something that was always kind of like in the back of your head as the months went on?
Every day,
Yeah. Wow.
every day, because we schedule. I mean, we've got it scheduled out for like the next 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at the old church. I
Yeah.
just call up Amanda down at the old church, and we just talk about which day we're going to start because the
Yeah.
calendar kind of moves around a little bit. But I'm pretty much blocked out every year, either the 10th and 11th through the 24th.
Hmm.
And, so we just kept communicating. We kept getting reports. Well, might be okay by October. We might be able to have a holiday season.
Hmm.
Then then we started thinking, okay, doesn't look like we're going to have a normal holiday season. Maybe we'll be able to have 50 people at a time,
Yeah.
you know. And then it got to maybe we'll be able to have 25 people at a time.
Right.
But that 25 people included everybody who's on stage,
Yeah.
the crew, you know, and the people who come through the door. So by the time we got to our 25, we've had four people in the audience.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez.
So so even with if we were able to have 50 people, we probably could only have like 25 people in the audience.
Yeah.
And we would have made that work, and I think we would have still filmed it and done the thing with KGW and the pay-per-view. But then it got to the point where the old church they had to close their doors completely.
Mhm. So did KGW, you said that they came to you, or did you come to them? Was that like your initial solution was
No,
let's try to make
actually,
some
all of a sudden one day I had yeah. One morning, I was about 3 months ago. 3 months ago, the decision was made that the old church was going to be down, and we had talked about the idea of filming and that kind of thing. And then just that one morning, I thought, maybe somebody, if I film this, maybe somebody will air it. And then
Mhm.
I have my list of media people, and I know all the folks at all the stations. And KGW
Right.
actually was the first one I called. They were on the first one on the list. So I
Uh-huh.
called over there, and actually I called Brenda Braxton, and I've known her
Mhm.
for many years. And I said, what would you guys think about, airing a Christmas special this
Mhm.
year? And she goes, Michael, that sounds like a fabulous idea. Let me run it by the producer. And then that afternoon, the producer called me, the station manager, and he said, Michael, we'd love to do that. And
Mhm.
so uh, within, let's see, the phone call in the morning, within, I think, 3 hours, the decision was made to have a Christmas special, and he gave me a date.
But you were talking so much about how what you kind of feel like is like the attraction of this after doing it for 30 years is the fact that it's a bunch of people in a room, because that's kind of like what holidays are about.
Right.
Um, do you feel though like can a TV special make up for that? I mean, can this come anywhere close to what it's usually like for you?
I have no idea. I
Yeah.
have no idea. All I know is that our intention was to deliver the show like we deliver it at the old church. And there's several segments in the show that we do every year that have become traditions.
Hmm.
For instance, there's a big segment where we do Drummer Boy, and my master percussionist Israel Ano, he's from Ghana, West Africa, does this
Hmm.
really cool drum solo.
Hmm.
If I don't include it in the show, I get emails and phone calls. How come Israel didn't do Drummer Boy? You
Yeah.
know? Or if Julianne doesn't sing, uh, you know, uh, our gospel version of Silent Night, you
Hmm.
know, things like that. Or if we do a medley from Charlie Brown's Christmas,
Hmm.
you know, how come you didn't do the Charlie Brown's Christmas? People look forward to certain things. So there's probably 5 segments in the show that we do as a tradition every year.
Hmm.
And then the rest, I always try to change it up, you know, and do something new. And so I know for the people who've been coming to the show year after year, they're going to go, there it is, you know,
Hmm.
it's fulfilled my expectation. That's one of my favorites. I'm so glad it was in the show. Um, but there's going to be a lot of new people watching this show. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, we see about 7,200 people every year live, and this
Mhm.
is this is going to be on TV, and so I mean, hundreds of thousands,
Right. Right.
of people in the area, and I think they're going to air it more than once,
Hmm.
and so a lot of people are going to be seeing it for the first time, and I hope it strikes a chord in them, and they get a sense and a feel of what we do down there, and I recorded a personal thank you, and at the end of the thank you of the special, I just say I hope we were able to bring you some extra joy this
Mhm.
holiday season, and that's really the whole intention.